Do we want to get into just a little bit of the Super Tuesday primary? Trump winning 7 states. Hillary Clinton winning 7 states. She's about halfway to where she has to be. Trump not so far. But, if you talk to Karl Rove, rough night for Donald Trump. He only won 7.
Really?
Well, listen, there's still the belief is still that somebody like Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz could still get the number of delegates to win this thing, or I don't know.
I don't know. This is starting to get the feel like when you're rooting for your baseball team that's 15 games back with 16 games to play, and you say they're mathematically not eliminated yet.
Yeah, you're not even taking the leap of putting it into your 2 games down in the World Series. You're talking regular season here. I mean it does feel that way. As much as even Rove yesterday got a bit of listen. Trump is like ripping on Karl Rove. Is Rove on Fox News? I think he is Fox News Sunday. And Chris Wallace interviewed him on Sunday, Trump. And, Karl Rove's sitting right there, and Trump's like ripping on Karl Rove. And it was bad enough where Chris Wallace had to say, "So, Karl, how you doing this morning?" Apparently pretty badly, according to Donald Trump.
His earpiece was working, apparently.
But Rove got ahead of himself last night on Fox News while covering the election results in Virginia. He made a prediction that Marco Rubio was gaining ground and would keep gaining ground on Trump as more results came in. But before he stopped talking, they completely cut away from him. For breaking
What are your
news.
thoughts about Virginia and that race?
Well, I think this race is going to continue to tighten.
Wait, hold on just a second. Apparently, we got a call in Virginia. So you can tell us after we get the call.
Chris, thank you. Fox News can now project that Donald Trump will pull out a win in Virginia.
They just don't have the ability to predict. This has... it's almost like your computer has the spinning thing going on. Mm-hmm. That's what the political operatives are doing right now. They can't seem to figure this out.
I don't think that the Super Tuesday results were that surprising. I think what would have been surprising was if Ted Cruz had lost Texas, because some were saying that it was kind of close in Texas. Others were saying he's definitely going to run away with it. But that would have been surprising, and that would have delivered a blow to Cruz's campaign. I find it interesting that Marco Rubio is still very much in it. He just says he's going to keep plowing forward. He's like, we got one win, and that's all we need to keep going.
Meanwhile, Cruz is saying, listen,
drop out.
Everybody's got to drop out. And it's so bad for Kasich. Nobody's even mentioning him. I mean, do you think this could be the moment that Kasich decides he's out?
What does he have to gain by staying in it at this point, unless he's not spending any money?
Well, a lot of these guys feel like they're gaining a place at the convention.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's the part I don't understand. But by the middle of this month, we're really going to know, I think, what's going on. So we have primaries that pick back up on Saturday and go all the way through into the middle of the month. But
would you agree that it's not healthy for the Republican Party for Rubio and Cruz to continue going at it against each other because they're just solidifying or cementing Donald Trump's campaign?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You sound like you're disgusted.
I don't know. I just don't know what to. I don't know what to think, because even if you look at the numbers combined between Cruz and Rubio, they still probably don't beat Trump.
Right.
So the writing is, like it or not, the writing's on the wall here. And Chris Christie has done nothing but hammered since he endorsed Donald Trump. Hammered. Chris Christie is getting hammered. 7 New Jersey newspapers are calling for Chris Christie to step down for various reasons.
Get out of here.
He is getting hammered. And everybody kept talking about last night how he was there behind Trump on stage, and he looked miserable. Was he sick? What was it? I don't know. But at one point, his boss ordered him to go home. Just get on a plane and go home.
Get in the plane and go home. It's over there. You go home.
Okay, that's Donald Trump telling Ted Cruz, go home. And I think I
Christie,
don't know.
right?
I'm sorry, telling Christie. Maybe I don't understand. Maybe he didn't feel well, or I mean, that's probably what they're going to say. He didn't look well. He didn't look like he was happy to be there. I don't know. But that was Trump saying, hey, listen, get on the plane, go home. Things are good. I'm in control. And, you know, like it or not, he really is. I mean, you can play the delegate game here because that's all that really matters. But, boy, it's going to be tough to figure out how Donald Trump doesn't continue to steamroll forward. He's winning states that people, I mean, he won Massachusetts. And all right, so Donald Trump's a Northeast guy, he's a New York guy. But, you know, in Massachusetts, even the Republicans are a bit on the moderate side. Is that a preview of what's going to happen in New York? Does Donald Trump win New York? A lot of people say he's going to. What else going on here today? We've got a lot to get into. There's some progress going on with nanotech, and we found out that there are truckloads of dirt heading outward. Truckloads of dirt. And they're prepping to get the chip fab plant construction underway, which is going to start in April. It is happening. I mean, it's really amazing, but it's happening. Tanya J. Powers, can I take her right now, 6:20? Let's do that so she doesn't have to wait. I would hate to make Tanya Powers wait.
She's had a long night.
Good morning, Tanya Powers. It was a long night.
Good morning.
So, you know, we just asked. So I'll ask the question to you, and I mean, do you see a scenario where Donald Trump doesn't? I mean, there are strategies, but is it a likely scenario that Donald Trump doesn't continue to plow forward?
I would say no. I mean, again, this has been one of the weirdest political years ever.
I know.
And definitely has generated more publicity and talk and everything else and interest than I can ever remember a presidential election doing. And he's done things prior to now that would have just killed somebody else's, campaign. Yet it doesn't seem to him.
Even the KKK thing. The issue isn't does Donald Trump support the KKK. The issue is his explanation of what happened with the earpiece. I mean, he's saying he couldn't hear, yet he continued to repeat everything that was said to him. I don't know how that isn't a lie, but I guess for his supporters, it's not.
There are some people who have obviously managed to, it doesn't seem to be important. A lot of things that, people have been incensed about with him, from the get-go. And it doesn't seem to be important to a lot of folks, or if it is, it's just not as important as making a change in Washington. And I think that's what we keep hearing from people over and over and over is they're just fed up with how things have been going. They're willing to try, okay, fine. We'll elect this guy. We'll vote for him because he says he's going to do something different.
Yeah. What about Rubio? What about Cruz? They both. I mean, Rubio won his first state last night.
He did. He got Minnesota. Cruz got Texas, which was, of course, the big prize of the evening. Oklahoma and Alaska. Trump got 7 of the 11 states where the GOP voted, and really, I mean, took most of those, the SEC primary states, Texas, Virginia, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas. He also got Vermont and Massachusetts. That's the whole 7. I'm really excited and interested to see how things play out now after Super Tuesday at tomorrow night's debate in Detroit, because we'll have all of them on stage again.
And that's a Fox. Fox News, right? Fox News debate tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about Kasich? Does he say or Dr. Ben Carson? I mean, these two. Is the time for them to pop out?
It depends on who you talk to. I mean, there's a lot of people who say, well, if they had gotten out, or if more people had gotten out of the race, then, there could have been more unifying behind some other candidates that could take on Trump. There's a lot of theories and a lot of that. I will say that Carson did get 3 delegates last night out of the 595.
Well, there you go.
So, there's that. As to why he's still in the race, that's a good question.
I know. And what about on the Democratic side? If you count the superdelegates, Hillary Clinton is about halfway there.
You know what? I'm going to have to defer to you because I'm strictly covering GOP stuff.
All the GOP stuff. Okay.
Well, you probably know more about that than I do.
I want to ask you one last question, and that would be on Chris Christie. He, of course, has endorsed Donald Trump, which came as a big surprise at the end of last week. and he is getting hammered. 7 newspapers in his state are asking for him to step down. Last night, it seemed like he was miserable. At one point, Trump told him to go home. What's going on with Chris Christie?
That is a really good question. Apparently, that was the most tweeted thing of the night last night. I mean, in Super Tuesday and the big politics race, for the Chris Christie's look on his face at the Trump press conference, for that to be the most tweeted thing was just extraordinary. I mean, he had this look on his face like, it was just kind of hard to figure out what was going on up there. Yeah. And he has lost a lot of respect from people who had really supported him. They are not happy with the fact that he's going to Trump's side and is, campaigning for him now.
The word establishment has become such a dirty word in this election. It's really just like I don't think any of us have ever seen before. It's crazy. Tanya J. Powers, we appreciate the long night. Thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Okay, 6:24. We'll take a break. Come right back here.
Just quickly, I've added up all the others, and I think we knew this, that Trump's got more than all of them. Trump's got 285 so far. Cruz, Rubio, Kasich, and Carson combined have 281.
Think about that. That would, I guess, make it a race if none of those supporting any of them were to come to Trump, right? And that is the part that nobody's thinking about. They're automatically assuming that if they, all of the supporters, the few supporters that Carson has or any of the others would go to Rubio or Cruz. And I don't know about that. Hold on. We'll come right back. 625 at WIBX.